name tattoo the word Chango, and I'm daughter of Chango in the Yoruba tradition, religion, and culture, and so I always wanted to have it on my skin.
So today I am getting tattooed a little seed under earth that is growing and that is popping up to the surface.
Do you have any other tattoos?
Yeah, I have a little sun, which is for my best friend. I did a little sun for her.
In our music, we always mix Yoruba culture with our songs. Yoruba is part of us, and so that's why I wanted to have this tattoo.
Annie, what are you doing?
She's getting distracted.
Let's do it, come here. And the reason why I'm getting that tattoo is because I always read the comments on YouTube. The first comments, the 10 first comments on YouTube when we put a song out. Yeah, it's a little ritual I do. And when we put out Deathless, there's this girl that wrote this sentence. She said that the video made her feel like that sentence, and it's, they buried us, but they didn't know we were seeds. And I loved it, and at that time I didn't know, I wondered if she had written it. I didn't know where it was from, and I absolutely love it. That's exactly why we wrote Deathless. It's to remember that we are seeds, that there's no end to us, and that's why I'm getting that tattoo today. The tattoo? Yes. It's a really weird feeling. But it doesn't hurt as much as the other one, I guess. It's a really weird feeling, and my arms is kind of getting numb, and cold, but I think it's because of the reaction of the needle, which is a really weird feeling, and at the same time quite like it works with silence, weirdly, you know, it's quite, and realizing how your body reacts to a needle is quite pleasing. I don't know, it's really weird. I like it.
This is your first time getting a stick and board, right?
It's my first time getting a tattoo with that technique.
Yeah.
I really like it. I really like the noise.
Yeah.
It's really special. Yeah. I really like it. I'm glad. So cool.
It's kind of weird because I'm scared of needles. I'm hella scared of needles. But for tattoos, I'm not scared. It's weird.
So we called the new album Ash because the first song we did on the studio, the first time we produced, was Ash, which is the last song of the album. And we believe it opened the door for the whole feeling of the album and the whole energy of the album. It represents the world and what is happening to the world today, that we are all ashes. And also because it was a title that was, even if a little negative, was bringing so much hope, because ashes, it gives hope. Because it's kind of the same thing as the seeds, you know, ashes can fertilize. There can be something positive getting out of ashes. Ashes can make earth grow things. So we wanted that. We wanted a name that would not be just negative, but would bring some positivity, which we try to do with our music always, talking about really deep subject, but at the same time seeing the good side of things and being hopeful. Because loads of people ask us, so what is specifically the part of your Afro-Cuban culture you put in, or how do you weight, you know, I'm going to put a little bit of Yoruba there, and how do you incorporate the other influences you have, whether it's hip-hop or electronic music or soul music or jazz or whatever. It's not like a recipe. It's something we have inside ourselves, and when we write it just comes out. And but it's for sure a big part of our music, and every night when we sing those Yoruba songs, we are so proud of singing them. Every time we play a Yoruba rhythm, we are so proud, and it feels like, you know, all the ancestors are playing with us at the same time.
Well, everybody who's in the album, we love them, and we always wanted to work with them. So there's Kamasi Washington, there's Lamala Rodriguez, there's Michelle Andeoncello, there's Chili Gonzalez, and there's Michelle Obama.
There's a sample of Michelle Obama. For all of those, People, we love them, have been listening to their music for so long that when they said yes, it was a great honor for us to have them on the album. And also the songs called them. For example, for Deathless, doing Deathless and producing Deathless, it was just, obvious that we needed Kamasi, and so we sent him just that song and he played on it, and we are so happy about it.
Oy, oy. La la la. Here it's kind of.
Il est presque fini, hein. Near that ditch, it's kind of sad. Don't worry, it'll stop raining soon. Never had such an audience. No. I've had an audience, but not like this.
Jungle.
Ça va mieux? So that was a song for Django.
Yeah.
For her Orija, which is the Orija of the thunder. She's the daughter of thunder.
And I think Deathless it's the same feeling. That's why we wrote Deathless. We needed a song to feel powerful and large. We needed a song to believe we were immortal, to believe there was no end to us, to believe that we would always be here, that it doesn't matter what is happening because love and us together doing something, us as people, will never stop. That song started because I wanted to tell that story that I had been wrongly arrested, and it started because of a racist arrest. But then it became more than that, I guess. It became like our little anthem. We imagined people singing it together. And the fact that we are going on tour right now for like a long time, and we will get to make people sing We Are Deathless, no matter who you are, no matter what you look like or where you're from, all together in the same room, singing the same thing loud. It's just, we can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be really nice.
Yeah.
Deathless was made by Ed Morris, who did River too, and Mama Says, and Ghosts. And
He did everything.
he did half of our music videos. He's our partner in crime.
Yeah.
He can read our minds. We were quite sad because we had been reading loads of treatments about Deathless, and none were like spot on. And it was really important for us that one, we wanted to have that visual really right.
Yeah.
And so we called Ed, being like, please
Help us.
help us. And he was really busy, but he said, I'm gonna start thinking about it. And he sent a little drawing of Naomi giving birth to me, and me giving birth to Naomi, and Naomi giving birth to me, and like this circle. And we loved it, and we thought we needed absolutely to film that. That's why we wanted to represent, the endless beginning and the endless end. Nothing ends or begins, it's always the same thing. Giving birth is really a strong thing. And giving birth to her was definitely cool. No Man Is Big Enough for My Arms, it's actually a song that we wrote in the studio. We normally write before getting to the studio, and
That sentence, No Man Is Big Enough for My Arms, comes from a book called Guido Basquiat. And when we were in the studio, we read that book. And she says, Suzanne, she explains that when she was 7, a man came and said to her, one day I'll come back and I'll marry you. And she said, no man is big enough for my arms. And she was 7. And when I read that, my jaw just dropped. I needed to tell you and Richard, look at that sentence. And the next day I did. And they said, oh, that's the song. And so we started producing it. And while producing it, we realized that we wanted a sample. Richard Russell, our producer, he's amazing. He has this sense. And so he said, I think this song needs a sample. And at that time, this speech of Michelle Obama was in everybody's ears because it was just after the Trump grabbed them by the pussy. We re-listened to it, and it felt so powerful and truthful, and the words she used are poetic and strong. And from the want to have a tiny sample, we just had like half of the speech, and we just put half of the speech in the song. But yeah. She says the measure of any society is how they treat their women and girls. It's so true, and we needed to have that. For sure, what is happening in the world has influenced the album. For sure, the fact that the word is actually like, in a really wrong place has influenced this album. And we actually were producing the album while it was the elections. So I think the energy of the albums come from that too, from like, oh, we need to resist, from the fact that this album sounds like, I don't know, like we wanted it to sound big, and I think the reason of that was we needed to feel big and large and powerful. You say this album is political, and it is in the eyes of the world, because we are talking about subjects that are so
in 2017
that are still there, that are still women empowerment, the fact that we still need to talk about women empowerment, the fact that we still need to talk about racism, that makes our album political. But the truth is the album is two young women, talking to men, talking to the world. And what do we think about Trump? Not much. I would say that, not much.
So what do you want people to live with after they hear your album, Ash?
We want them to go to their home with hope. We want them to go to their home with joy. And in the show, we want them to dance. We want them to sweat. We want them to feel alive. That's what we want.
This album is like a live album. We wrote it thinking about how it would sound live, how people would react live. So what we hope is seeing reaction, seeing their body move, and seeing sweat, and seeing passion, and seeing them scream or sing loud. And that's what we want. We want organic. We want reaction, because at least that's how we feel when we are on stage. So we want them to feel the same thing, and create this amazing world during an hour and a half where we are all together. I absolutely love it. It's so nice. Thank you so much. I'm really happy.
Query on